Hello and welcome to the Antiquarian Outlook for week 44 of 2025, starting October 27th. I'm Spencer W. Stuart, Collections Advisor, author of Contemporary Issues and Rare Books in Manuscript Collecting, and host of the monthly webinar, Collecting Insights. For more details on my services, publications, and programs, follow the links below, along with links to the various auctions we'll talk about in this program. Alright, let's get into last week's results. Monday, Chiswick Auctions had prints and multiples. There were 325 lots offered, of which 231 sold, making for a 71% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 191, this David Hockney aquatint in the Dull Village, done in 1966. Estimates were set at £3,000 to £5,000, realizing £7,560. A buy-in of note, lot 265, this screen print by Invader, Space Files, done in 2006. Estimates were set at £5,000 to £7,000. A lot that exceeded expectation was 13, Julian Trevelyan's My Garden, an aquatint done in 1975. Estimates were set at £300 to £500, realizing £2,772. On to Tuesday, Bearnes, Hampton, and Littlewood had Antiquarian Book Auction. There were 478 lots offered, of which 358 sold, making for a 75% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 441, an archive of documents and correspondences from the late 18th century through to the 20th century, connected to the Pitt, Elliot, Pringle, and Harrison families. Estimates were set at £1,500 to £2,500, realizing £3,800. A lot that exceeded expectation was 440, this illuminated manuscript done between the late 16th century through to the 19th century. Estimates were set at £400 to £600, realizing £1,900. As well as lot 303, this Fern album, done in the late 19th century. Estimates were set at £400 to £600, realizing £1,600. Finishing off Tuesday, Ader had a photo book sale. There were 114 lots offered, of which 106 sold, making for a 93% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 18, Versailles Graffiti, published in 1961. Estimates were set at €200 to €300, realizing €760. A lot that exceeded expectation was 25, René Berry's One World from 1984. Estimates were set at €150 to €200, realizing €460. On to Wednesday, Lyon and Turnbull had travel and vintage posters. There were 81 lots offered, of which 62 sold, making for a 65.5% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for lot 69, a collection of lithographs connected with Toulouse-Lautrec, Mucha, as well as others, done between 1896 through to 1900. Estimates were set at £15,000 to £20,000, realizing £17,640. Three buy-ins of note that were related, lot 10, 11, and 12, all connected to the London Zoo, done between 1913 through to 1926, all with estimates of £5,000 to £7,000. Next sale, Hansons had the Harry Potter auction. There were 31 lots offered, of which 18 sold, making for a 58% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 10, an uncorrected proof of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban from 1999. Estimates were set at £10,000 to £15,000, realizing £11,600. A couple buy-ins of note, lot 23, a signed first edition of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows from 2007. Estimates were set at £3,000 to £4,000, as well as lot 26, a U.S. first edition signed of again Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Estimates again set at £3,000 to £4,000. Next sale, Forum Auctions had prints and multiples, 1,500 to 2025. There were 387 lots offered, of which 258 sold, making for a 67% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 98, Gerhard Richter's Souvenir, an oil on canvas from 1997. Winning bid was £60,000. A buy-in of note, lot 97, again, Gerhard Richter, 724 from 2008, a C-type in color. Estimates were set at £30,000 to £50,000. Finishing off Wednesday, Bonhams had the Uncanny. There were 104 lots offered, of which 33 sold, making for a 31% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was lot 93, this Taschen Sumo copy of Norman Mailer's Moonfire, Lunar Rock edition, with related items, from 2009. The winning bid was just above £46,000. A buy-in of note, lot 23, a production-made wand used by Ronald Weasley during the filming of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban from 2004. Estimates were set at £10,000 to £15,000. On to Thursday, Forum Auctions had the library of John and Suzanne Bonham, an established bookseller couple. There were 250 lots offered, of which 200 sold, making for an 80% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was for Lewis and Clark's Travels to the Source of the Missouri River, the first English edition published in 1814. Estimates were set at £5,000 to £7,000, realizing £14,000. A buy-in of note, Lot 197, Richardson's Fauna Borealis Americana, published between 1829 and 1837. Estimates were set at £20,000 to £25,000. Next sale, Este Balafi had music memorabilia. There were 263 lots offered, of which 143 sold, making for a 54% sell-through rate. Highest price realized within the general items was Lot 153, this autographed leather jacket connected to the Ramones, signed in 1984. Bidding started at €2,500, realizing €2,600. Within prints, multiples, and ephemera, Lot 56, Storm Thurgeson's Pink Floyd Interstellar, a silkscreen print from 2003. Starting bidding was €1,500, realizing €1,500. A buy-in of note, Lot 56, an original demo version of Hey Ragazzo, pressed in 1967. Bidding opened at €4,000. Finishing off Thursday, Swan Galleries had old masters through to modern prints. There were 405 lots offered, of which 297 sold, making for a 73% sell-through rate. Highest price realized was $311. Pablo Picasso's Femme au corsage à fleurs, a lithograph done in 1958. Estimates were set at $70,000 to $100,000, realizing $85,000. A buy-in of note, Lot 213, Mary Cassa's Picking Daisies in a Field, a dry point with color aquatint done around 1893. Estimates were set at $50,000 to $80,000. A lot that exceeded expectation was 245, William Zarac's Sailing from 1916, a linoleum cut done on Japan paper. Estimates were set at $3,000 to $5,000, realizing $22,000. In the news, we're preparing for November's sessions of Collecting Insights. We continue to have a couple of spots open for registration at the emerging, expanding, and legacy levels. So please get in touch with us directly if you have any questions. As always, all registrants will receive a complimentary copy of Contemporary Issues and Rare Books and Manuscript Collecting. So follow the links below to have a look at the various course programs and see which one would work best for you. Also, for a hyperlinked list of next week's auctions we have an eye on, please get in touch with us directly. The Antiquarian Outlook is totally independent. Its producers do not hold inventory, nor do they represent any consignments or acquisitions mentioned. Well, that's been the week from here. What'd you think of last week's results? Anything surprise you? Anything you have your eye on? Please make sure to put some comments below and we'll keep the conversation going. Remember, if you want to stay up to date, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, turn on your notifications, as well as let others know about these programs. Thanks again for tuning in. All for now. We'll see you next week.